Ladies and gentlemen, there is something profoundly sacred about the moment a woman chooses to rebuild herself. It is not always a bold declaration. Sometimes it is merely a whisper in the dark, a silent promise made while wiping away tears. It is in that quiet resolve that she tells herself, I will rise from this. Brokenness has a way of redefining us. It is often misunderstood, avoided, or even feared. But what if I told you that your brokenness is not the end of your story? It is the beginning of something divine. It is not the final punctuation at the end of your journey, but rather the pause that prepares you for what comes next. The moment life shatters you is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to transform you. When a woman experiences heartbreak, betrayal, failure, or loss, the immediate instinct is to feel defeated. Society often tells us that brokenness is a flaw, something to be hidden. We are conditioned to put on a brave face, to act as though nothing has shattered us. But brokenness is not something to be ashamed of. It is not the end of your strength. It is the beginning of your renewal. In those moments when you feel like you have hit your lowest point, there is a power within you that begins to awaken. At first, it does not look like power. It looks like tears streaming down your face in the middle of the night. It looks like sitting in your car, unable to move, carrying the weight of overwhelming pain. It looks like whispering prayers, even when you are unsure if anyone is listening. It looks like comforting a stranger, even when you feel like you have nothing left to give. That power starts small, almost imperceptible, but it is there, waiting for you to claim it. Here is the truth about brokenness. It cracks open parts of you that you never even knew existed. When you have reached rock bottom, when you have cried every tear you thought you had, and when you have wondered if you will ever feel whole again, that is when something incredible happens. In that raw and vulnerable state, all the masks fall away. The illusions, the pretenses, the things you once relied on for validation, gone. What remains is your most authentic self, and from that sacred place, something divine begins to take shape. In the stillness of those moments, you start to hear a voice that tells you, this is not the end. It is not loud or dramatic, it is a whisper, a quiet, unshakable truth. That voice reminds you that even in your brokenness, you are still worthy. It tells you that your cracks are not meant to be hidden, but are the very places where the light of your purpose begins to shine through. Pain is never wasted. Every tear, every scar, every moment of despair carries meaning, but you must make the choice to see it that way. Brokenness can either bury you or plant you. The difference lies in how you respond. If you allow yourself to sit in the soil of your pain, to process it, to learn from it, to grow through it, you will realize that your brokenness was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to strengthen you, to shape you, to prepare you for the next chapter of your life. Rebuilding yourself after being broken is a solitary journey, let's be honest. It is not easy. It is painful to keep going when the people you thought would stand by you have walked away. It is hard to trust again when the ones who caused the deepest wounds were the ones you trusted the most. It is difficult to believe in yourself when everything around you seems to be crumbling. But remember this, your brokenness is not proof of your weakness. It is evidence of your resilience, the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still trying. That is strength in its purest form. When a strong woman decides to rebuild herself, she does not wait for permission. She does not wait for someone to come and save her. She does not wait for applause or validation. She looks at the shattered pieces of her past and chooses to create something beautiful from them. She learns to love herself, not in spite of her cracks, but because of them. Because they make her unique, because they make her powerful. And here is the most beautiful part. As you rebuild, you start to see yourself differently. You begin to recognize the divine fingerprints all over your journey. You realize that even when you felt abandoned, you were never truly alone. the strength you built in silence, the wisdom you gained through struggle, the courage you found in your darkest moments. They have all been shaping you for this very moment. You begin to understand that your brokenness is not a curse. It is the birthplace of your strength. Every piece of you that you once believed was ruined becomes part of the masterpiece you are creating. The pain you endured becomes the foundation of your growth. The lessons you learned through hardship become the wisdom you carry forward. And the strength you cultivated in your rebuilding process becomes the light that will one day guide others through their own darkness. When you decide to rebuild yourself, you are not simply putting the pieces back together the way they were. You are creating something entirely new. You are becoming a version of yourself that you have never seen before. A version that is stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. You are stepping into a purpose greater than yourself, one that requires every ounce of strength, resilience, and courage that your journey has built in you. You may not see it yet, but there is something sacred about your brokenness. It is a calling, a challenge, and an opportunity all wrapped in one. It is the universe's way of telling you that you were made for more. And as you take each step forward, as you rebuild piece by piece, you are not just proving it to the world, you are proving it to yourself. To the woman who feels broken, you are not finished, you are just beginning. And this brokenness, it is not the end. It is the divine spark that will ignite your transformation. Keep going, keep building, keep believing. Something beautiful is being created within you, and the world has yet to witness the fullness of what you are becoming. Rebuilding is one of the hardest things a woman can do, especially when she is walking that road alone. It is not glamorous. It is not the polished, perfected image that people like to celebrate. It is raw, it is uncomfortable, and sometimes it is even painful. But right there, in the midst of the chaos, is where strength is born. It is in the silent tears, in the moments of self-doubt, in the exhaustion that tempts you to quit. But somehow, you keep moving forward. When life breaks you, your first instinct may be to retreat, to hide your pain from others, even from yourself. You may feel like you're trapped in a storm, surrounded by the shattered pieces of the life you once knew. Everything feels disorganized, uncertain, overwhelming. But that mess is not something to fear. It is the necessary ground where transformation begins. Rebuilding is messy because it forces you to confront the parts of yourself you have been avoiding. It exposes the wounds you try to ignore, the fears you buried, the doubts you ran from. It demands honesty, the kind that strips away illusions and forces you to see yourself clearly. And that kind of honesty takes courage. Rebuilding yourself often means walking a path others cannot understand. Some people, even those closest to you, will not be able to walk this journey with you. They may not grasp your pain, your process, or your need for change. And that can feel lonely. But sometimes the strongest growth happens in solitude. When there is no one else to lean on, you discover the strength you always had within. And as difficult as it may be, that loneliness also brings clarity. You begin to see yourself more clearly, to recognize your worth, and to realize that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Rebuilding is not a straight path. It is filled with setbacks, doubts, and exhaustion. But every step, no matter how small, is still progress. Strength is not avoiding struggle. It is facing it head on. It is in the moments when you feel like giving up, but choose to keep going. It is found in the resilience built from every hardship you have endured. You are not just rebuilding, you are transforming. And through the mess, the struggle, and the pain, you are becoming unstoppable. It's in loneliness that you discover your independence, and it's in hard work that you find your strength. While rebuilding may not be simple or pretty, it is where transformation takes place, where the powerful woman inside you is born. Not from a place of perfection, but from a place of perseverance. Every tear, every struggle, every lonely moment is a step toward the unstoppable version of yourself that you are creating. There's a deep truth that every woman in the process of rebuilding needs to hear. You possess the power to rise within you, no matter who walks away. It doesn't matter who failed to recognize your worth or who left when you needed them the most. It certainly doesn't matter who doubted your ability to overcome. The power to rise isn't something external. It's something that has always been within you. However, sometimes it takes losing people, situations, or even yourself to rediscover that strength. When people walk away, it's easy to feel like their absence reflects your inadequacy. You might begin to question what you did wrong, what you could have done differently, or why you weren't enough to make them stay. This kind of self-doubt can be paralyzing. But it's also a lie. The truth is, others' decisions aren't a reflection of your worth. Their inability to remain doesn't diminish your value. In fact, sometimes their departure creates the space for you to evolve into the woman you were always meant to be. It's in the absence of others that you begin to hear your own voice again. When the noise of external opinions and expectations fades, you start to reconnect with the woman who has always been within you. This isn't an easy process, and it can be painful to sit quietly and face yourself without distractions. But it's in that stillness that you begin to recognize your own power. You realize that the strength you've been seeking in others has been within you all along. Rising after someone walks away isn't about proving anything to them. It's not about showing them what they've lost or attempting to make them come back. It's about reclaiming your own narrative, deciding that your story doesn't end just because someone chose to leave. People will come and go in your life, but your purpose, resilience, and power are constants. They are yours, and no one can take them away from you. Sometimes the people who leave are the ones you thought would never walk away. That kind of loss cuts deep because it feels personal. It feels like betrayal, but even within that pain, there is an opportunity for growth. You learn to release the need for validation from others. You learn to stand on your own 2 feet, not because you want to, but because you have to. And in doing so, you discover a strength you didn't know existed. The power to rise isn't about having all the answers or feeling strong every day. It's about taking one step at a time, even when you're unsure where the path leads. It's about choosing to keep moving forward, even when it feels like the world is against you. It's about trusting that the strength inside you is enough to carry you through the hardest days. And it is enough. You are enough. When people leave, it can feel like they've taken a piece of you with them. But the truth is, you are whole on your own. You don't need anyone else to complete you because you were never incomplete in the first place. You are made with everything you need to thrive, even when life gets difficult. The challenge is believing in yourself when it feels like no one else does. But that belief, that quiet confidence, is the foundation of your ability to rise. Rising isn't about pretending you're unaffected. It's not about putting on a brave face and pretending everything is fine. Rising is about acknowledging the pain, feeling the loss, and then deciding that it won't define you. It's about using that pain as fuel to push you forward. It's about turning heartbreak into breakthrough. Every time someone walks away, it's an opportunity to turn inward and reconnect with your power. It's a reminder that while people may leave, your strength remains. It's in the way you rise after a setback. It's in how you keep showing up for yourself, even when it feels like no one else is. It's in the way you refuse to let your circumstances dictate your future. That's the power to rise. There will be moments when the weight feels unbearable, and you'll wonder if you have what it takes to continue. But in those moments, remind yourself of everything you've already overcome. Think about the times you thought you couldn't make it, yet here you are. That resilience and determination prove the power within you. It's not something you need to find. It's something you need to trust. It's been a journey from the triad to the trapezed. When someone walks away, it can feel like the end of something, but in reality, it's often the beginning of something greater. Their departure might be exactly what sets you free to step into your full potential. It might be what pushes you to stop looking outside yourself for strength and start looking within. And when you do, you'll realize you've been carrying everything you need all along. Rising isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily choice. It's choosing to believe in yourself when doubt creeps in. It's choosing to get back up every time you fall. It's choosing to see the beauty in your journey, even when it feels messy or incomplete. The power to rise is not about never failing. It's about refusing to stay down. People walking away is not the end of your story. It's simply a chapter that will one day lead to your greatest triumph. The woman you're becoming through this process is stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. All of that is within you, waiting to be unleashed. The power to rise isn't dependent on anyone else. It's yours, and it's unshakable. Pain and struggle are some of the greatest teachers a woman can ever encounter. They enter your life uninvited, often catching you off guard and leaving you with questions you don't know how to answer. But beneath the weight of your pain and the exhaustion of your struggle, something extraordinary is taking place. What you're experiencing isn't meaningless. It's shaping you for greatness, not at the expense of who you are, but through the process of becoming who you're meant to be. Pain has a way of forcing us to confront ourselves. It strips away the illusions we've built, the roles we've played, and the masks we've worn to keep up appearances. It takes us to a place where we're left with nothing but the raw, unfiltered version of who we are. That place may feel dark, lonely, and even unbearable at times, but it's also where transformation begins. It's in that space of vulnerability that we begin to understand our strength. Struggle is not the enemy, it's the process, the refining fire that burns away what no longer serves you. Every moment of discomfort, every challenge, every obstacle shapes you into a version of yourself that can handle the greatness ahead. The process isn't easy, it's messy. It requires you to endure situations you didn't think you could survive and face emotions you didn't think you could bear. It stretches you in ways that feel uncomfortable, but that stretching is where growth happens. When you're in the middle of pain, it's hard to see beyond it. It feels all-consuming, like a weight that presses down on your chest, refusing to let you breathe. You might find yourself asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Or, "What did I do to deserve this?" But the truth is, pain doesn't come to punish you. It comes to awaken you. It comes to show you parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. It strengthens the areas of your life that need fortifying. The struggle isn't random, it's intentional, molding you for something greater. Every setback, every disappointment, and every tear is preparing you for the woman you're becoming. Your pain is not wasted. Your struggle is not in vain. They are tools being used to equip you for the journey ahead. Think about how diamonds are formed. They don't come from comfort or ease. They're created under intense pressure and heat deep beneath the surface of the earth. That pressure doesn't destroy them. It transforms them into something rare and valuable. The same is true for you. The pressure you're under right now is shaping you into something extraordinary. The struggles you face are carving out the greatness that already exists within you. Pain also has a way of teaching you what truly matters. It clarifies your values, your priorities, and your purpose. It strips away the distractions and forces you to focus on what's real. When you've been through struggles, you learn to appreciate the small victories, the quiet moments, and the simple joys. You gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. That perspective is part of what makes you great. It's the wisdom that only comes from having walked through the fire. But pain and struggle don't just shape you. They also reveal you. They show you who you really are beneath the surface. They uncover your resilience, your determination, and your capacity to endure. They remind you that you are stronger than you think and braver than you feel. The very fact that you're still standing, still trying, still hoping, that's evidence of the greatness within you. Rebuilding yourself after pain isn't a passive process. It requires you to make a choice every single day. It's choosing to believe that your pain has a purpose even when you don't fully understand it. It's choosing to keep moving forward even when it feels like you're walking through quicksand. It's choosing to see your struggle not as a setback, but as a setup for something greater. There's a misconception that greatness is reserved for those who have it all together, who never struggle, who never face hardship. But the truth is, greatness is often born out of struggle. It's forged in moments when you feel like giving up, but find the strength to keep going. It's in the way you rise after every fall, in the way you turn your pain into purpose, and in the way you refuse to let your circumstances define you. The process of rebuilding yourself after pain is a testament to your strength. It's proof that you are capable of doing hard things, of enduring more than you thought possible, and of creating a life that reflects your true power. Your struggle is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of your resilience. It's a reminder that you're being shaped for something greater than what you can see right now. Greatness isn't about never experiencing pain, it's about what you do with it. It's about taking the lessons, the scars, and the wisdom that come from your struggle and using them to build something beautiful. It's about finding the courage to start over even when everything feels like it's falling apart. It's about believing in your ability to rise even when the odds are stacked against you. Your pain and struggle are not your enemy. They are the tools that life is using to shape you for greatness. They are the catalysts for your transformation, the ingredients for your growth, and the foundation for the woman you are becoming. Every tear you've shed, every challenge you've faced, and every moment you've endured is shaping you into someone extraordinary. Keep building, because you're not just rebuilding a life, you're creating a legacy. Every single decision you make, every brick you lay, every step you take toward becoming the woman you're meant to be is about so much more than the here and now. It's not just about surviving today or getting through the pain you feel in this moment. It's about creating something bigger than yourself, something that will outlast you, inspire others, and stand as a testament to your strength, resilience, and determination. Rebuilding a life from the ground up is no small task. It's not something you can rush or bypass. It requires patience, persistence, and an unwavering belief in the future you're working toward. There will be moments when it feels like the weight of it all is too much to bear, when you question whether your efforts are worth it, and when you're tempted to give up because the finish line seems so far away. But in those moments, remind yourself that this is bigger than you. The work you're doing isn't just for you. It's for the generations that will come after you, for the people who are watching you, and for the legacy you're leaving behind. Building something that lasts doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of small, deliberate actions. It's the everyday choices you make, the decision to show up, to keep going, and to try again, even when it's hard. It's the quiet work you do behind the scenes, the sacrifices you make, and the battles you fight when no one else is watching. That work may not feel glamorous or significant in the moment, but it's laying the foundation for something extraordinary. When you're in the thick of rebuilding, it can be hard to see the bigger picture. The day-to-day struggles, setbacks, and moments of doubt can cloud your vision, but every brick you lay is part of a greater design. Every time you rise after a fall, every time you find the courage to keep going, and every time you take one more step forward, you're building something that will stand the test of time. Creating a legacy means thinking beyond your current circumstances. It's about understanding that the choices you make today have the power to shape tomorrow, not just for yourself, but for others. It's about realizing that your journey, your story, and your resilience can inspire someone else to find their own strength. When you rebuild, you're not just proving to yourself that you can overcome. Legacy is built in the moments when you refuse to give up, even when giving up feels like the easier option. It's built in the way you handle adversity, in the way you treat others, and in the way you choose to keep growing, even when the process is painful. Legacy is about impact. It's about leaving a mark that says, I was here and I made a difference. And that mark doesn't have to be grand or monumental. Sometimes the greatest legacies are built in the quiet, everyday moments when you choose kindness over anger, perseverance over defeat, and love over fear. Rebuilding a life is deeply personal, but it's also profoundly connected to others. You may not realize it, but there are people watching you, people who are inspired by your courage. Your legacy isn't just about what you build for yourself. It's about what you create for those around you. It's about being a source of hope, a beacon of strength, and a reminder that it's possible to rise, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. Building a legacy means staying committed to the process, even when it feels like progress is slow. It means embracing the hard days, the messy moments, and the seasons of uncertainty, knowing that every step is bringing you closer to the woman you're meant to be. It's about finding meaning in the journey, not just the destination, and recognizing that every challenge you face is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Legacy is about transformation. It's about taking the pain, the struggles, and the setbacks you've experienced and turning them into something beautiful. It's about using what you've been through to create something new, a life that reflects your strength, your values, and your vision. It's about being intentional with your time, energy, and resources, and using them to build a life that matters. Rebuilding isn't just about fixing what's broken or getting back to where you were before. It's about creating something better, something that aligns with who you are and what you want for your future. It's about growth, evolution, and becoming the best version of yourself. And as you grow, you're not just changing your own life, you're creating a ripple effect that will touch the lives of others. The process of rebuilding can be lonely at times, but it's also deeply empowering. It's a reminder that you have the power to create the life you want, no matter what you've been through. It's an opportunity to rewrite your story, to reclaim your power, and to build something that reflects the woman you're becoming. And as you do, you're leaving a legacy that will inspire others to do the same. Every step you take, every choice you make, and every moment of perseverance contributes to something far greater than you can see right now. You're not just rebuilding a life, you're creating a legacy that will stand as a testament to your strength, resilience, and determination to rise above. So to every strong woman who is rebuilding herself alone, I see you, I honor you, and I want you to know that you are not alone. What you're building may not look like much to others right now, but keep building, keep showing up, keep trusting that every step forward is bringing you closer to the life you deserve. Your pain will not be wasted. Your tears will water the soil of your growth. And one day, when you stand tall in the fullness of who you were always meant to be, you will look back and thank yourself for not giving up. Strong woman, rebuild, heal, dream, flourish, because you are not just rebuilding a life, you are creating a legacy.